Hey guys, I haven't recorded a video in a while. It's been a minute, and you know, uh, for a lot of reasons, there's been things to record. Like we've had about four Boger crash outs in the last few months. It's been amazing. Actually, that they've been actually some of the higher threshold crash outs that we've seen from him. But this isn't going to be a video ridiculing anyone or talking about the U.S. cutting off trade talks with Canada or how I'm not. I'm just going to shy away from saying something insensitive and racist, but we're going to talk about NASCAR 25 because I've not done a video on NASCAR 25. Before NASCAR 21 Ignition, I put out a video saying I'm scared. NASCAR 21 Ignition talk. I think it was like a week or a few days before the game came out, and obviously my concerns ended up being completely correct, judging by how everyone looks at NASCAR 21 Ignition. But, jeez. NASCAR 25 is no NASCAR 21 Ignition. NASCAR 25, I would say, is a great game. Sure, there's some incomplete factors to it, but at least so far, I like it kind of better than Heat 5, but at the same time, I loved Heat 5 too, man. Heat 5, I mean, granted, I just got burnt out on it, playing that shit for 5 years. It's old, a little bit. I mean, especially considering Heat 5 isn't the greatest game ever. It isn't. If you were telling me, hey, you got to play NASCAR 25 for 5 years, it's going to be annoying, but I think I can get through it. Heat 5, we obviously got through it, but it's like, there's just a lot of left to be desired, I feel like, with NASCAR Heat 5. NASCAR 25 takes more of a realistic look at NASCAR racing, and I love that. But anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about league racing. I love league racing. I've been league racing for 5 years. Honestly, over 5 years now, yeah. Ever since COVID, I've pretty much done league racing. July of 2020 to now, and obviously there's been some breaks in between there, but I'm back, and I can say it hasn't really been that fun. Here I'm showcasing one of the actual few good bits of racing I was actually able to find of league racing on this game. And this is a Veyer Trucks Rockingham. Now, the funniest thing is, this race wasn't even good past stage 2. The first 2 stages went caution-free, and at the start of stage 3, there was a caution, then there was another caution, then there was another caution, and then, you guessed it, there was another caution. And honestly, there probably was maybe even one more. I don't know. All I know is that the race ended in like a 10-lap shootout. I was able to finish solid. At the start of stage 3, I actually got shuffled backwards because I was afraid of starting on the outside lane. I got shuffled backwards because that is one flaw with it. The outside is horrible on restarts most of the time. But anyway, I digress. I got shuffled back, and I had to fight my way through the field with pit strategy because caution just kept coming out. It was just a matter of, do you play the tire game? Because Rockingham, it eats up your tires and all that. So even after one lap, your tires are kind of, they've taken a hit. But anyway, my point is, a lot of league races, at least in the last stages of them, the later stages of them, have just been a tire game. There's going to be a lot of cautions, pit at the right time, and when everybody else pits, you jump to the front, and it's a cycle. It's how almost every league race I've done on this game has been. It's been 30% of them. And it's not that, it's kind of a factor of everybody knows what they're doing in the first 2 stages, and everybody just forgets what they're doing in stage 3. But, I mean, there's still wrecks, stages 1 and 2. But a lot of leagues have big, caution rules, as if, hey, there's 26 trucks in this race. A lot of the time it'd be 12 trucks for a caution, I feel like, or maybe 10 or 11. So that's pretty much a third of the field, or over a third of the field, needs to wreck during a run for a caution to come out. And the thing is with that, sorry, my allergies. I didn't know how I'd like it at first, but I honestly, that's pretty much the only way to get a solid race in, because everybody keeps wrecking, and that's another thing. With how bad wrecking in league races has become such a common commodity. I mean, in Heat 5, we would get 16, 17, 6, 7. Sorry. We'd get like big fields like that, and it'd be like 4 for a caution, 5 for a caution. Like nowadays, if we get 17 cars in the race, you best believe it's fucking going to be about 9 for a yellow, 8. How are we moving backwards? Because the game gets a bit more realistic, and you can actually turn somebody. Well, I watch NASCAR every week on TV. I should know how easy it is to turn someone. I should probably stay away from their quarter panel. No, everybody just fucks it off into each other. And I mean, if there was a way to turn an auto race into pornography, it would be NASCAR 25 league races. And it's such a shame, because this game truly is so fun. But I've actually had more fun on career mode in this game than I have in league racing a lot, because I don't have to race around idiots. And it's not just, I wouldn't say it's the leagues I race in. These are leagues that on Heat 5 were looked up in high respect, you know? Like, obviously there'd be some bad apples here and there, but it seems like now it went from a few bad apples to quite literally 50% of the field population doesn't know what they're doing. There are some people that are fast and are idiots. There's some people that are slow and are idiots. There's some people that are mid, but just fast enough to ruin someone's race from being a dumbass. And there's so much stupidness. I feel like leagues almost have to turn to communism to just get these guys out of here. And, you know, I'm not one to promote communism. I'm not trying to get lynched. I'm just saying that there just needs to be something done, because, like, this game, it could be hard to be fast. Like, there's some tracks I'm bad at, there's some tracks I'm good at. Like, there's some tracks that take some true practice, I feel like, to learn and be quick at. Or I feel like that goes for pretty much every track, obviously, except for plate tracks. And that's, like, that's fine. If you're slow at a track, come to terms with it. Don't wreck if you don't know how to drive the track, or if you're bad at the game, just don't send it off into people. Don't wreck people and put people at your mercy because of how bad you are at the game. And that's just how every league race has been, really. We've had multiple trollers. I would say way more people have trolled, at least in the first few weeks in this game, than I've seen on Heat 5. Like, Heat 5, obviously, there are plenty of races where people have trolled, right? But it's like most of these people, or I feel like a lot of trolling just subsided to a level. But nowadays, it's just, you know, even grown adults trolling. Are we serious? Like, you guys got a high school diploma and we're trolling in league races with 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds. I don't know about that. It's a little childish, you know. Like, obviously there would be grown adults that trolled on Heat 5, but I just feel like in this game, it's like the trolling mixed into the fact that barely anyone knows how to race around people to begin with. And I'm not talking, when I say people are ass at the game, in this case, that's not what it is. It's quite literally just these people they don't know how to race around anyone at all. It's like, I'm not going to name anyone out because I didn't want to make this video of me ridiculing someone like I usually do, which is pretty funny, but we're not going to do that. What we're going to do, because there's also a good point to be made, is there's too much people almost to talk about. And I was truly thinking about this last night. I was racing in a league, and I was like, I'm just not having fun. Like, racing with this like group of people. Like there's some cool people to race with, but genuinely about 80% of like the community I race in, they're not clean. They don't. Yeah, of course, plenty of fast people. I mean, like who race clean? Colton Irving. Boom when he's not driving through people. Hendrick. You know, I haven't been. Some people have called him over aggressive. You know, I haven't been a huge victim of it, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Grega, like, and that some of these people are aggressive, but that's fine. At least they know what they're doing to it. Like they're not driving through people. Like there's plenty of people I can name that are actually decently fast. They just don't know how to race around others. Like just genuinely just cannot race around other cars. And you know, the only good thing that's came from this is just been a confidence booster for me. Because it's like, you know, maybe I'm not as shitty as I thought. But it's just, especially even at big tracks, man, it's Kansas and Xfinity is such an amazing example of how people have turned such an amazing track into a shit show every time we go to that track. I've raced Kansas in so much league races so far. It's a really fun track to drive, and almost all of them have just not been good league races. We've had, like, there's been one I did with a 12-car field. We'd have a 5-car wreck every restart. And these are in ARCA cars, by the way. ARCA cars. They can be a little loose, man, but at least get used to it. Learn, you know, it's just... I'm not trying to... I know this video seemed like I've just been saying, oh, just don't do this, just don't do that. But it's really not that hard. That's my whole point. Like, it's not that hard. And, you know, I try not to complain. For, like, the first 2 weeks, it's like, okay. You know, it's a new game. It's going to take people a while. Like, but it's like, dude, now it's getting to the point... Like, I don't know how people are going to get better. I know it's only been 4 weeks. Dude, you're telling me it's taking people over a month to learn how to just drive around people. That's a concern. Heat 5, I know, was this game where people you could just drive in the back of someone or drive into their quarter panel sometimes and they could barely have any reaction. I understand that. But it quite literally took me a few days of playing this game to realize, okay, you can't do that anymore. Adapt to it, race around people differently. Like, it's not that hard. And there's some tracks that may be tougher to drive than initially expected. Let's take Atlanta Xfinity into account. Now, I'm not saying that is a tough track to drive, because by no means is that track a tough track to drive in the Xfinity series. Atlanta Xfinity is like this. Obviously, Atlanta's a plate track now. Just one of the easiest tracks to hold bottom at. It's not like the base setup they give you, it's completely fine, but there is a slight issue. It could get a little loose. It can get a little loose, especially if you like let it glide up a little bit, then try to turn back down. It can get a little loose, or you know, just on corner exit. You know, you got to fight it a little bit sometimes, and for some reason, that was the biggest issue for anyone to tackle ever. It's just, I mean, we have people who were smart enough to come up with building the atomic bomb, but we have other people who actually cannot learn how to just hold a line and drive around a racetrack that is just full throttle, and you may have to let off a little bit because the car gets a little loose. People can't learn that. And I feel like that is the greatest contrast of hierarchy in America. But I digress. For some reason, that was the biggest issue ever. There was a 10-car wreck every restart, pretty much, of that Atlanta race I did. Yes, I know it was a 31-car field, Yes, a 30 car league race. Oh my God, it's going to be horrible no matter what. I understand that. Yeah, a 30 car league race at Bristol should be horrible. Not at a fucking plate track where it's one of the easiest tracks ever to hold bottom at, man. I don't, there was some times I got loose. I didn't expect it to get that loose sometimes. You know, there was a time in even stage 3, the latter part of the race, I exited the corner, on the hot line. Got a little loose off the seam. I'm not gonna lie, but it happens. But I mean, I got loose off the corner maybe 2 times that race. We had about, I would say, 800 fucking times where someone would get loose off the corner. It's not that hard. There's gonna be times, but it shouldn't happen every time, every lap. And genuinely, people hitting the apron as hard as they can every single lap. And I didn't think it'd be that big of an issue because Atlanta's apron's not that sensitive. You just hit it. There's a lot of times you can just grip onto it, I feel like, almost in a way. You don't really bounce off Atlanta's apron, but somehow people were hitting it, bouncing up somehow, and getting loose, sliding back down. There was so much wrecks caused like that. And another thing to tackle in this game, plate racing isn't what it used to be. You can actually, like I said, you can actually wreck people and stuff like that. And again, that's such a hard thing to come to terms with. I mean, it's just genuinely insane. In Xfinity cars, if you push someone, they can get a little loose. The Xfinity cars, they aren't the best for pushing, right? But you can still push them. Just push them square and let off. Don't drive through them after you push them. Just, push. Maybe even back off a little. Just give them a shot. And I could understand the plate racing being a hard thing to grasp onto. But at the same time, people make it look way harder than it actually is. And another thing, there's some people who just race in leagues that don't care. They know who they are. That's fine. And I can't really blame a lot of them because they haven't really been punished for it a lot of the time. There's obviously some people who don't care about learning this game or don't care about how they race around others who have trolled in multiple leagues. And, that's fine. I just hope those people just aren't allowed to race in those leagues anymore because they don't care. And, the people who don't care, they shouldn't care that they get kicked out. They'll race in another league and that doesn't care if they LePage or trolling. That's fine. I'm happy some leagues have taken accountability and are starting to actually penalize these people, and that's great. Yeah, and penalize them, rightfully. But this has been a rant. It's already been 18 minutes. I don't know how I get myself to yap for this long, like I'm a college professor. But I'm probably going to I have to try to find a league that it's just a bunch of clean people. I don't care. At this point, I don't even care if they're good. I just want to find people who know how to race around others. I don't care if they're good. I don't care if they're the fucking best drivers in the world. I just want to find people who care how they race around others, truly. And that'll be good enough for me at this point because hell, a lot of the time, some fast people don't even know how to race around each other. The art of just the fact that you can actually wreck people in this game has just been the hardest thing to adjust to. It's such a shame. But yeah, that's about it. And yeah.